Turn number 3 from our infield guy, Jason Porter. We're going to try it again here. Start attempt number 2. Looks a lot better. Kaylee Bryson and Timms wheel to wheel at the line. Timms has to take a little bit of evasive action. That allows Chris Wyndham to try and make a run on his CB Industries teammate. Timms is able to plug the middle, but Kaylee Bryson leads lap number 1. Wyndham gets up to second.
What a move by Chris Wyndham. Now goes upstairs and tries to use that bank off. Turn number 2 has a run on Kaylee Bryson down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Here comes Big Daddy down low.
Uses it and then a little bit more. Gets a great run through 3 and 4. But Kaylee Bryson, I love it right there. You can see her sawing on that steering wheel inside the cockpit of the number 71. Chris Wyndham's going to throw one from way downtown, and it's going to stick. New race leader Wyndham. Bryson's not just going to give it up, though, but Wyndham's got it.
And how much fun is it to watch these midgets here at Merced Speedway? Wyndham was going way upstairs in turn 2. Kaylee Bryson is not done yet as she challenges Chris Wyndham, that time by 4 laps down.
Track plenty wide here tonight on night number 2 of Midget Madness. A little bit farther back, that's your battle for the transfer position, I believe. No, that's 3rd and 4th. That's Timms and Kofoid going at it. Next car, my buddy Kofoid, is the one trying to crack the top 4. They make their way down the back straightaway. Timms gets a good run out of turn number 2. Going to take a look to the inside. This is the race for second, and he's got it from Bryson until she crosses him back over. Kaylee back to second spot.
Well, good stuff there in the fight for second. Ryan Timms now back around the outside of Bryson. They go side by side into 3 and 4. Buddy Kofoid going upstairs trying to join that mix.
Ryan Bernal has reeled in Buddy Kofoid, or at least nearly has, and he's racing to make his way into tonight's 30-lap A-main event. Side by side for second up the track. Right behind them, your national championship point leader. He's in the final transfer spot. They've got 2 laps to settle it. And Gary, this is about to become a 3-car race just to stay in the heat.
Yeah, Chris Wyndham up front having his way with things. But look at that Hornet's Nest back there for second with Bryson, Timms, Kofoid, and Ryan Burnell right there.
White flag. Chris Wyndham's trying to set another 10-lap track record. He did it last night en route to his heat race victory through 3 out of 4. He's going to win. Second place is going to go to Timms. Kaylee comes home 3rd, and Kofoid will lock in tonight's A-main event after a 4th place finish.
Well, Tony, we talked about those championship points up for grabs. Chris Wyndham is going to gain a few back there after qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Good work for him right there. Championship points 8 going to Chris Wyndham. Very astute observation. Good point there, Gary. So he wins heat race 1 last night. He wins heat race 1 here tonight, and he's ready to talk to Drake York. Drake?
Thank you very much, Tony. For the second night in a row here at Merced Speedway, Chris Wyndham is a heat race winner. Tonight, it's coming in Simpson Race Products heat race number 1. Chris, you had a great race with Kaylee Bryson, but eventually after you got by her, you moved up to the top. What made the top side the preferred group for the 89 machine?
This place just kind of seems about all momentum until later on when it really slicks off up there. So still faster up there, I think. Hopefully later on it'll be racy and move bottom and top, but we'll see where that puts us for the feature and do what we can.
That's Chris Wyndham. It's his 7th heat race win on the season, and it comes in Simpson Race Products heat race number 1.
Hey, thanks a bunch, Drake. Folks, send him back to the pit area. That's Chris Wyndham, your heat race winner. Let him hear it. For a minute there, I thought we just had a bunch of Buddy Kofoid fans. Hey, folks, on the FloRacing broadcast, that's Jason Porter making his way back to turn number 3. He's our infield cameraman, and this is his last race of 2021, and I just got to take a moment. Jason is an incredibly important part of our broadcast. I like to call him a utility man. He does everything. This year he was a camera operator for the Indianapolis 500 for IMS Productions at NBC. He has shot NASCAR Xfinity for NBC, and when he shows up here, he's not just a camera guy. He is a technician. He's an audio engineer. He helped us set up our brand new audio board earlier this summer. He's just an all-around can do anything and will do anything guy. He hustles for us everywhere he goes. He's not coming to Ventura with us, but I just got to give a shout out. He's an incredibly important part of our show, and if you watch it on Flow and you appreciate him, say thanks to him if you ever see him at the racetrack. Jason, thanks for all your hard work, man.
I think I said it a couple nights ago about the great crew that you guys have with FloRacing and USAC, and when you're on the road, as long as you guys are, you got to have some great people involved, and you guys certainly do. I've enjoyed this last week.
Well, Gary, we've enjoyed having you. It's been phenomenal again to walk into a booth and have a guy like you to work with. Super awesome. We're not done yet. We got a lot of racing to go tonight.
We do.
And Simpson Race Products heat race number 1 just went to Chris Wyndham. CSI heat race number 2 rolling out next. CSI Heat Race number 2 looks like this. Castro Valley, California's Jake Andriotti will lead him to the green flag. Next to him in the 7NZ out of Pengrove, California, that's Chase Johnson starting second.
Row 2 to the inside from Lincoln, 71K Tanner Carrick. To the outside, the 19A of Chase Randall exited back to the pit area.
Yeah, so Chase Randall heading over the top of turn number 1. Issues on that 19A. Row number 3 was scheduled to be the 21 of Carson Macedo from Lemoore, California. And the 1K of Kyle Larson will move up to inherit Chase Randall's starting position.
Well, your final row originally 7X of Thomas Meserel, and then what do you know it? Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson in the same heat race again.
Field comes across the start-finish line to see 1 to go, and Chase Randall's made it back out on track. How about some noise for that? The Reinbold Underwood Motorsports team got the quickest chicken from Waco, Texas back out, and he's ready to party here in CSI. Heat race number 2. Same situation as heat number 1. It's going to be 10 laps in length. It's brought to you by Competition Suspension Incorporated. And if you finish in the top 4, well, you're racing a little bit later on tonight for 30 laps.
That's it. Heat race number 2 should be good.
Yeah, it's going to be very good. Here we go. Field makes their way to the NOS start can. The green flag is going to go up in the air, and Jake Andriotti will work from the inside. He takes it to the top, but he's going to take us back around because that one will not stand.
Same story as heat race number 1 right there, it looked like.
It kind of feels like Placerville in night number 1. We had a lot of callback starts.
We had a lot
there.
of jump starts.
So Jake Andriotti, he's your pole sitter. Comes to us by way of Castro Valley, California. Chase Johnson's from Pengrove. Carrick's from Lincoln. And Chase Randall, who was scheduled to start up in third, is from Waco. The driver who is starting on the outside of row number 2, that's Kyle Larson. He's the one from Elk Grove, California. They had an awful big celebration for him. Saw it on social media. He got, I think, November 22nd, named Kyle Larson Day.
Yeah, Kyle Larson Day, right there in Elk Grove, California. Pretty cool.
Man, I hope the kids get off school for that one.
I hope so.
Here we go. CSI Heat Race number 2. Let's try it again. Jake Andriotti and Chase Johnson. That's a more uniform-looking start there as they both go right to the top of the racetrack. But how about Tanner Carrick in that 71K? He slots right up into the second position. Can he get the lead from Andriotti at the line? No. Andriotti scored as your leader first trip around. But it's nice and close at the front, Gary.
Good racing up front between Andriotti and Tanner Carrick. And talk about a California-flavored heat race in this one.
Man, Thomas Meserel is side by side with Kyle Larson for that 4th and final transfer spot. And they continue to drag race down the back straightaway. Andriotti and Carrick just trying to find out who's going to lead this one. Carrick jumps up and takes it away. Carrick out in front.
Well, if those two guys keep battling, they better look out because here comes Carson Macedo, last night's fast qualifier, rolling the bottom side to perfection right now.
Man, I love it, Gary. You're right. If this heat race had a flavor, it'd be California. Yeah. Right now, the Lemoore, California native works down low, and it happens to be the quick way around until he has to check out of it to avoid the 0-0 of Jake Andriotti. Well, that's not going to slow down that Tarleton number 21. He has found his groove down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson is continuing to harass Thomas Meserel for that 4th and final transfer.
Well, we talked last night about just how cool this track is. It's a tight bull ring, but you got a top, you got a bottom, and a middle groove as Carrick leads up front.
Man, side by side, though, right behind him for second, Andriotti. He has spent more time in this heat race right alongside another midget than we've seen some drivers do all season long. But it's going to be that 21 of Carson Macedo who finally shows Andriotti the tail tank, move Macedo up to second, Andriotti third, and Meserel has finally been able to put some space, Gary, between he and Larson.
Man, yeah, Larson last time tried to drive that 1K as far up as he could. This time now follows Meserel down on the bottom as the white flag waves. Tony?
1 to go here in CSI Heat Race number 2, and Meserel's looking pretty safe for the time being. Larson's going to come under attack from Chase Johnson, and that's 7NZ, but as the checkered flag waves, mighty close, it's going to go to Tanner Carrick in the 71K. And, man, Macedo, he made it mighty, mighty close.
What's that? 0.183 seconds margin of victory there.
Oh, boy, Macedo's going to lock in. Carrick locks in by winning the heat. Third place was Jake Andreotti. He probably would have liked to have stayed a little bit farther up front, but he locks in. And the 7X from San Jose for RMS T-Mez. Thomas Mesrel, he's going racing. And for the second night in a row, we're going to see Kyle Larson have to go to the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts Semi.
I was going to say, how many times have you seen Kyle Larson 2 nights in a row go? I'm sure Wikipedia may have that stat, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, we'll have to check in with Brian, but wow, that was rare. The 71K will stop there on the inside of the front straightaway. He's your winner of CSI Heat Race number 2. He can hear you. Let's hear what he has to say. Drake?
Thank you very much, Tony. Tanner Carrick tops the field in CSI Heat Race number 2. Tanner, it seemed for like that first half of the race you were either attacking or being attacked. So once you got out front, how'd you defend from all those different cars? Because it seemed like they were coming at you from a bunch of different angles.
Yeah, they were coming from top and bottom, but I just got up to the top and got my momentum going and just did what I could do best. Me and Macedo went at it last night for the transfer, and tonight we were going at it for the lead in the heat race. These heat races are tough, and I put myself in a bad spot qualifying at 13th, 14th the last 2 nights, so I have to win my heat to have a chance of starting somewhat towards the front.
That's Tanner Carrick. It's his 4th heat race win on the season, and it comes in CSI Heat Race number 2.
Thanks so much, Drake. And Tanner Carrick, man, he's been picking up the heat race victories as of late out here on the West Coast. That's another one for him. They're going to take it back to the KKM pit, and they're going to go to work. Again, that 71K is the number that we've seen Dason Purchley campaign all season long. Again, folks, if you're in a position to help, the Venmo account through the USAC Benevolent Fund is at USAC Drivers. Again, at USAC Drivers, all one word, and that's if you're on Venmo and you're in a position to help Dason and his family. Really trying to hit that hard. We only have 2 nights left on the air here with FloRacing before our season wraps up, so I'm trying to beat that drum real hard at USAC Drivers, and that's if you're in a position to help out Dason Purchley and his family. We're getting ready to go with our 3rd heat race of the night. This one is brought to you by Indy Metal Finishing. Taste, a little follow-up to the racing we saw last night in the A main event. Here we go. Green flag is out. Thorson and Grant work side by side at the line, but Thorson's going to clear them all. Look at Jade Avadesian.
Wow.
She gets a big head of steam out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. She's going to force Grant right down to the berm on the inside of 3 and 4. Thorson leads lap number 1.
Logan Seavey trying to battle his way forward as well on the outside of Brenham Crouch down the back straightaway. Nice move by Avadesian again, Tony.
Yeah, Jade looks real racy right now here as she's trying to go after Tanner Thorson for that race lead. Brenham Crouch is the driver in that 4th and final transfer position, but he's got Sutter, California's Logan Seavey going after him. Seavey's going to set it in hard on the top side, trying to get a little momentum wound up as Brenham Crouch. Now Seavey dips down low. It's wherever you can fit in right now, Gary.
Well, Jade Avadesian gets a nice run off the top side of turn number 2. That's the 15-year-old with 12 micro wins. as they go into 1 and 2. Tony, let's see if he does it again.
Yeah, Jade's not afraid to go up top here. Bounces off the cushion. Closes in within about, 2.5 car lengths of Tanner Thorson. But your leaders are all down around the bottom on the exit of that fourth and final turn. Now that battle for the transfer starting to really heat up. Seavey around the outside. He takes fourth away from Crouch.
Shane Golovic right there as well, rolling that middle line behind Crouch as Seavey that time by into the top 4.
We just passed the halfway point, so now we've got 4 laps left in this one. Cool runnings up at the front of the field, but fourth on back, things are getting pretty tense as Seavey's got about 3 car lengths on Brenham Crouch. Jade Avedisian, man, that 86 looks good.
Tell you what, she's been so impressive in the micro ranks. Not a ton of midget starts, and she's racing in between 2 of the best right now.
Coming around to see 2 to go. White flag will be put out this time by Grant. Tried a little bit of a slider there on the bottom of 1. But man, Avedisian just kept her foot in it. He's going to get nice and close right there on the exit of 3 and 4. That allows him the closest shot he's had all race long. The white flag is up in the air. No battle for the transfer to speak of. Down around the bottom. Checkered flag's going to wave. Thorson picks up heat race number 3. Avedisian second. Grant third. Seavey is going to lock himself in tonight with a 4th place finish. I mean, Thorson ran away with that one. You really can't get around it, but I really thought the 86 looked good.
Man, she had a great line up there on the top at turn number 2, getting a good launch, and she is darn impressive.
Car looked very comfortable. I agree with you 100% there. Those drivers highlighted in yellow are racing later on tonight. Crouch, Golovic, McDougal, and Santino Ferrucci will go to the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature. Drake York is downstairs with Tanner Thorson. Drake?
Tanner Thorson, your winner of Indy Medal, finishing heat race number 3. Tanner, it seems like wherever you go with this 19T machine, this car really gets around the bottom side well. Is that how you kind of set it up for every racetrack you go to?
It just happens to play out that way. I wish I could be better, in a lot of other places on the racetrack, but this seems to roll pretty good around the bottom, like you said. So, had a hell of a time qualifying, earlier, and just had a lot of work to do, and I think we got there. We just got a little bit more to go.
Tanner Thorson, his 9th heat race win on the season, Tony.
Thanks a bunch, Drake. Good stuff there for Tanner Thorson. And we got 1 heat race still to go here. And you've pointed it out really astutely, Gary, that championship points are on the line for these. And by Chris Windham getting the victory in his, he picked up 8 points, which Buddy Kofoid picked up 6 by being the Fatheads Iowa Quick Time Award.
Okay.
So things are staying close right now. We'll keep an eye on that. Richie's doing a great job with the points, letting us know exactly what's going on. In fact, he's got an update right now.
Huh.
So with 5 going to Kofoid in his heat race, Richie, what's the gap? 45? 45? 44 between the top 2 right now in the championship. So things staying plenty close as we have tonight's main event and, of course, that long feature out in Ventura, California. Heat race number 4 is making their way out onto the track. Let's find out who's going to be in this one and where they'll line up. Brooke has just texted me. He wants to take the bid to $2,000 for the Kyle Larson Chase Elliott Tire. So $2,000 for Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott Tire. That's coming to us from Guy Forbrook. So Guy, thanks a bunch. Here we go. Indy Race Parts, heat race number 4, ready to wrap up heat race action here tonight with the USAC NOS Energy Drink National Midgets. Emerson Axum and Maria Kofer take us to the line as they stay awful close side by side through 2. The yellow flag once again comes out.
So what's that, 3 of 4 now? Call on a jump start?
I lost count back around after 1, I think. So Axum and Kofer being reminded to keep it side by side, the whole pack being reminded to keep it side by side all the way through. Chance Crum's back there in that number 26. It's been fun to watch him at the limited USAC national races he's made with us in 2021. They've made good strides. I know they're relocating the program out to Indiana. As we've seen a lot of West Coasters do. We call Snohomish, Washington home. And it's been fun to watch that blue and white number 26 get quicker and quicker every race they've been at with us.
That kid is a stud in the micro rings.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's translated into the midgets, and we're going to do it one more time here in Indy Race Parts heat race number 4. Emerson Axum gets a good shot, but Maria Kofer keeps it wound up on the high side. The McDowell, California racer is going to dive into 3 with the race lead. Can she exit 4 with it? Yes, she can. Kofer out in front.
Well, ever since Bakersfield last week, Tony, Maria Kofer, and Emerson Axum, I thought have been 2 of the impressive drivers out here on the West Coast as Axum closes back up on her.
Yeah, Maria Kofer, Emerson Axum, they exit turn number 4. Look at Cannon McIntosh. Where'd he start this race? Back on the outside of row number 3. Now he's in position number 3. Racing for the lead up front has not calmed down as we look just a little bit farther behind McIntosh. That's the 07W of Mitchell Moles. He has the 4th and final transfer spot near drag race down the back straightaway for that race lead as Emerson Axum works the low side. Kofer keeps it wound up around the top. Gary, she's still your race leader.
Well, this is one of those times where there's almost too much action on the track to keep up with as Axum, last time by, turned the fastest lap of the race, still side by side with Maria.
Taylor Reimer is the driver that's trying to run down Mitchell Moles. She is the first driver on the outside looking in. She's in that Buzzballs Cocktails, number 25K, the all-black race car for Keith Coons, Kerbag, and Janian. She runs down the back straightaway. Let's call it 5 or 6 car lengths on the straightaway behind Mitchell Moles. She does a good job in the corner, closing up, and then your front 3, Gary, they're all pretty evenly spaced out right now.
Yeah, starting to string out a little bit towards the front of the field. This time by, there's going to be 7 laps down to 3 to go as you take a look at your leader, Emerson Axum, in the Petrie Motorsports number 15.
And just as soon as I say they're all pretty evenly spaced out, Emerson Axum puts a pretty good-sized gap between he and second place, Maria Kofer. Kofer starting to get a little bit of a challenge from Bixby, Oklahoma driver, Cannon McIntosh, but that fight for the transfer right now is completely Mitchell Moles as Chance Crum has gotten up into the 6th position around Hayden Reinbold.
Yeah, this track, Tony, as we can see, you can make up a lot of ground as Cannon McIntosh closes back up on Maria Kofer. Down the back straightaway, though, Emerson Axum heads into 3 and 4.
Yeah, his lead has grown to nearly 1.5 full seconds. Checkered flag's going to wave. Axum wins Indy Race Parts heat race number 4. Kofer, very impressive job. She locks in via a 2nd place run. McIntosh and Mitchell Moles are your front 4. Taylor Reimer will be the first driver on the outside. Chance Crum and Hayden Reinbold will join her, as will the rest of the non-transfers in the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature. But Emerson Axum is your heat race winner here in the final go-round, and Drake York is ready to talk to the driver of the 15.
Emerson Axum, your winner in Indy Race Parts heat race number 4 in the Petrie Motorsports number 15 machine. Of course, Emerson just hopping into this specific race car a few nights ago after they crashed their primary, and he's been rolling good in it ever since. Emerson, throughout that race, you were trying the high side, you were trying the low side. Which line worked best for the 15?
Well, the power steering was going out, so I was just trying to man up and, just let it go where it wants and not fight it, honestly. I think we had a big lead because I was looking at the scoreboard and, it saved 15 and then wait a minute for the 57 to pop up when it crossed the line. So I think we had a good lead. We qualified bad, but I knew we had speed. I made a mistake. I can't thank all my guys enough for giving me a good car. So once we get this power steering fixed, we'll see what we got in the...
Emerson Axum manhandles that car to a heat race win. Here's your final heat race winner of the night in Indy Race Parts heat race number 4.
Thanks so much, Drake. Emerson Axum gets the job done. And Gary, I love to hear from our heat race winners, and people are going to think I'm taking a shot at a kid right now, but I'm not. Yeah. He was out of breath because he worked so hard in that race car. He sounded like me trying to get halfway up these bleachers.
I was going to say, that's us trying to climb up here with all of our gear and everything. Yesterday we brought this big TV up here, and we needed a nap after that.
Man, I'm glad you didn't call me to help out with that because I can't carry a TV that size very far. I can't carry myself up these bleachers.
I brought this tire all the way from the pit area, too.
Oh, man. Wow, you could probably be an Ironman.
Yeah, I told you I've been lifting those weights.
Okay, now I believe you.
Yep.
At first, I wasn't so sure. Great heat racing action for the USAC NOS Energy
good and
Drink
quick.
National